Mikhail Bulgakov, a doctor, a playwright, and a master of the grotesque. Today we dive into the life and works of one of the most enigmatic authors of the 20th century, a man who defied censorship, embraced controversy, and left behind a legacy that continues to resonate worldwide. Mikhail Afanasyevich Bulgakov was born on May 15, 1891, in Kiev, Ukraine, then part of the Russian Empire. His father, a professor of theology, and his mother, a teacher, raised him in an environment rich with faith, intellect, and discipline. These early influences planted the seeds of the moral and philosophical themes that would later define his works. In 1909, Bulgakov began studying medicine at Kiev University, following a path that would later shape much of his literary imagery. But it was not just his studies that shaped him. The chaos of the Russian Civil War left an indelible mark on his psyche. Serving as a military doctor during the war, Bulgakov witnessed humanity at its most desperate and grotesque. These experiences bled into his writing, adding a visceral authenticity to his work. After contracting typhus, a near-death experience that left him shaken, Bulgakov abandoned medicine to pursue writing. In 1921, Bulgakov moved to Moscow, the heart of the newly established Soviet Union. The city's chaotic transformation into a communist capital provided fertile ground for his burgeoning creativity. He began writing satirical short stories and plays, drawing on his medical background and personal experiences. His collection, A Country Doctor's Notebook, captured the stark realities of rural medical practice, blending humor with despair. But it was his play, The Days of the Turbines, that brought him critical acclaim and controversy. Set against the backdrop of the Russian Civil War, the play was seen as sympathetic to the White Army, drawing both praise and suspicion. Despite his growing reputation, Bulgakov's relationship with the Soviet regime was fraught. His sharp wit and fearless critique of authority made him a target for censorship. Plays like The White Guard and Zoya's Apartment were denounced as counter-revolutionary, but one admirer stood out: Joseph Stalin himself. Stalin was an unexpected supporter of Bulgakov's work, even intervening personally to ensure the continuation of his theatrical career. Yet this support was double-edged, trapping Bulgakov in a paradoxical relationship with a regime that both admired and oppressed him. In the 1930s, Bulgakov began work on what would become his magnum opus, The Master and Margarita. A daring blend of magical realism, satire, and philosophical reflection, the novel weaves three narratives: the story of a writer persecuted for his work, the devil's visit to Moscow, and a retelling of Pontius Pilate's trial of Jesus. The Master and Margarita is more than a novel. It is a searing critique of Soviet society, a meditation on good and evil, and a testament to the enduring power of love and art. But this masterpiece was never published during Bulgakov's lifetime. Fearing persecution, he hid the manuscript, famously declaring, "Manuscripts don't burn." These words became a defiant mantra against censorship. In his final years, Bulgakov's health deteriorated, and he succumbed to nephrosclerosis in 1940 at the age of 48. At the time of his death, much of his work remained unpublished or banned, but his wife, Elena Shilovskaya, ensured the preservation and eventual publication of his works, including The Master and Margarita. Bulgakov's words gained a worldwide recognition during the Khrushchev thaw. Today, Mikhail Bulgakov is celebrated as one of the greatest literary minds of the 20th century. His fearless critique of power, his exploration of morality, and his boundless imagination continue to captivate and inspire readers around the globe. Mikhail Bulgakov once wrote, "Cowardice is the most terrible of vices. In a world that sought to silence him, he refused to let fear extinguish his voice. His legacy endures, a beacon for those who dare to write against the tide."